Please. Our world is painted with the wings of roughly 400 unique parrot species. They're the jewels of the canopy, a living, breathing rainbow stretching from the humid depths of the Amazon to the arid scrublands of Australia. They are feathered architects, mischievous intellects, and vital gardeners of the world's most ancient forests. We see their likeness in our stories, we hear their mimicry in our homes, and we're captivated by their kaleidoscope of colors. They're a symphony of emerald green, sapphire blue, ruby red, and sunburst yellow. They are an explosion of life. But that explosion of color is fading. For every stunning parrot you see, another is slipping towards silence. For every raucous flock that fills the sky, another has dwindled to a whisper. This isn't some distant, future problem. It's happening right now, in the canopies above our heads, and in the forests we have yet to explore. We're in the midst of an unprecedented conservation crisis. Parrots are one of the most threatened groups of birds in the world. Nearly 1 in every 3 parrot species is threatened with extinction. This vibrant, intelligent, and ancient family of birds is vanishing, and their disappearance signals a profound illness in our planet's wild spaces. What's causing this silent decay? What happens when these colors fade to gray? And can we, the very cause of this crisis, become the architects of their survival?
The story of parrots is a story of breathtaking beauty and devastating loss, of human greed and extraordinary hope.
And it's a story that demands our attention before the silence becomes permanent. To understand what we're about to lose, you have to appreciate the sheer, staggering diversity that's at stake. The order Psittaciformes is the scientific name for parrots. A sprawling family tree with branches reaching across most tropical and subtropical regions of the globe. A sprawling family tree with branches reaching across most tropical and subtropical regions of the globe. What makes a parrot a parrot? Strong, curved, and powerful. A parrot's beak is a biological multi-tool. It's a nutcracker that can break open the world's toughest shells. A third limb for climbing. A delicate instrument for preening feathers. And even a defensive weapon. Paired with this is their famous zygodactyl grip. Two toes pointing forward, two toes pointing back. This setup gives them an incredible ability to grasp branches, handle food with the dexterity of a primate, and climb through the forest canopy with acrobatic grace. But beyond their anatomy,
It's their intelligence that truly sets them apart.
Parrots have some of the most complex minds in the animal kingdom.
Their social structures are intricate. Their communication is sophisticated.
And their problem-solving skills are a constant source of scientific wonder. Many species form strong, lifelong pair bonds, sharing the duties of raising young and defending their territory.
With a loyalty that is both remarkable
and, as we'll see, a source of vulnerability.
Their lifespans can mirror our own.
Larger species like macaws and cockatoos can live for 60, 70, or even 80 years.
This longevity means they build up a lifetime of knowledge, creating deep social bonds and passing down cultural information, like where to find seasonal food, from one generation to the next.
Their diversity in form is just breathtaking.
In the dense forests of New Guinea, you might find the buff-faced pygmy parrot.
A bird so tiny it could comfortably sit on your fingertip, weighing less than a coin.
At the other end of the spectrum, soaring over the rainforests of South America, is the hyacinth macaw.
The largest of all flying parrots, a majestic giant of cobalt blue stretching nearly a meter from beak to tail.
In New Zealand, evolution went down a completely different path. There, you'll find the kakapo.
A flightless, nocturnal, and critically endangered giant. It is the world's heaviest parrot.
A moss-green creature that walks the forest floor and climbs trees using its powerful beak and feet.
Its uniqueness is a testament to life on an island, free from ground predators. A paradise that was tragically lost. Then there are the lories and lorikeets of Australia and the Pacific Islands. They're the nectar drinkers. Armed with specialized brush-tipped tongues designed to delicately harvest pollen and nectar from flowering trees. In doing so, they become crucial pollinators. Their foreheads dusted with gold as they fly from blossom to blossom. Stitching the forest together with invisible threads of life.
The family is vast and varied, from the striking crests of the cockatoos in Australasia
to the famously talkative Amazons of the neotropics. And they aren't just passive residents of their ecosystems. They are active participants.
Parrots are the gardeners of the forest. while some pollinate.
Their biggest ecological role is as seed dispersers. When a macaw cracks open a tough palm nut, it'll eat some seeds, but will inevitably drop others to the forest floor, far from the parent tree. This messy eating is a vital form of seed dispersal, helping entire forests regenerate and maintain their genetic diversity. Studies have shown that many parrots are key multilinkers in their ecosystems.
Their feeding habits, providing multiple services that support the whole plant community.
They carry seeds around in their beaks and on their feathers.
And sometimes pass smaller seeds right through their digestive tracts unharmed, planting new life with every single flight. This incredible array of species, each with its own niche, its own specialized diet, and its own complex social world,
is a vital part of our planet's biological heritage. They're more than just beautiful birds.
They are a sign of a healthy, functioning ecosystem.
but that vital sign is now flashing red. The very traits that make them so extraordinary, their intelligence and their beauty, their specialized needs and their loyalty. Are being turned against them, pushing hundreds of species towards a silent abyss. The vibrant symphony of the parrot world is being silenced by a storm of threats, almost all of them coming from a single species, ours.
The statistics are grim.
According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, parrots are one of the most threatened bird groups on the planet. Nearly a third of all parrot species are facing extinction, with the populations of over half of all species trending downwards. This isn't a problem locked away in one region, or affecting just one type of parrot. It's a global pandemic of loss, driven by two main, interconnected forces: the destruction of their homes and their capture for our amusement. The first and most widespread threat is habitat loss.
Parrots, especially the larger ones, are specialists.
They've evolved over millions of years to depend on specific types of forests, specific trees for nesting, and specific plants for food.
When those forests fall, the parrots fall with them. The roar of the bulldozer,
and the whine of the chainsaw are the death knells for countless populations. Huge swathes of rainforest in the Amazon, Southeast Asia, and Central Africa are being cleared for agriculture.
For cattle ranching, soy plantations, and the palm oil found in so many of our products.
Old-growth forests contain the ancient trees parrots need.
With large hollow cavities that provide essential nesting sites.
But these forests are being logged at an unsustainable rate. This doesn't just remove their homes.
It shatters the landscape into isolated islands of forest. For a parrot, that's a genetic death sentence. Trapped in these shrinking pockets, populations become inbred.
More vulnerable to disease and unable to find new territories or mates.
Their world shrinks. And with it, their future.
Is the illegal wildlife trade.
Parrots' beauty and intelligence make them highly sought after as pets.
This demand fuels a vast and brutal black market.
A business that rivals drug and weapons trafficking in profitability.
It is an industry built on suffering.
The methods used to capture wild parrots are inherently cruel.
And extraordinarily wasteful.
Poachers will often chop down an entire ancient tree.
Just to get to a single nest of chicks. Adult birds are caught with nets
or cruel glue traps that leave them maimed and terrified. The journey from the forest to a cage. Is a gauntlet of death.
Birds are crammed into plastic bottles and tiny crates. Or hidden inside luggage, without food, water, or enough air for days. The stress, disease, and trauma are immense. Conservation groups have produced horrifying estimates.
For some trafficking routes, mortality can reach 75 to 90% before the birds are sold.
For every one wild-caught parrot that reaches a pet shop, many, many more have died along the way. Nowhere is this tragedy more starkly illustrated than with the African grey parrot. Renowned for its startling intelligence.
Its cognitive abilities have been compared to those of a young child in certain tasks.
But this very brilliance has been its curse.
The demand for African greys as pets has been relentless, and it has decimated their wild populations.
More than 1.3 million wild-caught African greys were estimated to have been exported
From their native habitats between 1975 and 2016.
The population collapse was so catastrophic that in 2016,
CITES was forced to give the species Appendix Y protection, the highest level of trade restriction. Banning all commercial trade in wild-caught birds.
today, the African grey is listed as endangered, and it has vanished entirely from many parts of its historical range.
This devastating pattern has played out all over the world. Before Mexico enacted a national ban on trading native parrots in 2008, studies estimated that tens of thousands of parrots were dying every year through internal illegal trade. That 2008 ban, combined with public education, had a remarkable effect. One report found a nearly 50% drop in illegal trade, saving an estimated 37,000 parrots each year.
It's a beacon of hope that shows decisive action can work.
But the threat remains. To really grasp the knife edge in which so many of these species sit, we have to look at their individual stories.
These are sagas of loss, resilience, and the monumental human effort it takes to pull a species back from the brink.
Perhaps no story encapsulates this fragility more than that of the Spix's macaw.
For many, this vibrant blue bird is famous as the inspiration for the animated film Rio.
The reality, though, is far more sobering.
The Spix macaw, a jewel of Brazil's arid scrubland, was wiped out by a combination of habitat destruction and relentless trapping.
By the year 2000, the last known individual in the wild disappeared, and the species was declared extinct in the wild.
Its only hope lay in a tiny, scattered population in captivity. For decades, conservationists worked tirelessly to build up their numbers.
Then, in June 2022, a moment many thought would never coup, a small flock of Spix's macaws was... But this is no fairy tale ending.
Reintroduction is the ecological equivalent of open heart surgery. It's risky and full of setbacks.
The project has faced immense challenges.
In 2025, the comeback story was hit by a disaster, an outbreak of a highly contagious and often fatal circovirus.
The disease, which can cause beak and feather deformities, was detected in a wild-born chick and spread to other birds in the reintroduction program.
The path to establishing a self-sustaining wild population is long and uncertain, and the Spix's macaw remains officially... Its story is a powerful, ongoing lesson in just how hard it is to undo an extinction. Half a world away, in the deep, damp forests of New Zealand, another epic conservation battle is being waged for the kakapo. As we have seen, the kakapo is an evolutionary marvel, a flightless, nocturnal parrot that smells like flowers and moss.
For centuries, it thrived without mammalian predators. But the arrival of humans and the stoats, cats, and rats they brought with them was catastrophic. By the 1990s, the entire species consisted of only about 50 known individuals. What followed is one of the most intensive conservation programs on Earth. The New Zealand Department of Conservation moved the entire surviving population to a few small, predator-free islands. Every single kakapo is known by name, fitted with a smart transmitter, and monitored around the clock. Their diet is supplemented, their health is tracked, and their nests are watched by cameras.
States. During the infrequent breeding seasons, conservationists work 24/7, using techniques like artificial insemination and...
Thanks to these heroic efforts, the population has slowly climbed, but it remains critically endangered. Not all stories start with such dire numbers.
The yellow-eared parrot of the Colombian Andes is a tale of pulling a species back from the very edge.
This striking bird is an extreme specialist, depending almost entirely on a single tree, the Quindio wax palm.
The parrot nests in its hollow trunk and feeds on its fruit.
But for decades, these majestic palms were felled at an alarming rate, used for timber and, tragically, for Palm Sunday processions.
By 1999, the parrot was thought to be extinct, until a desperate search found a single, tiny population of just 81 birds.
This discovery sparked a massive conservation movement. They worked with the Catholic Church on a campaign, Reconcile with Nature, urging people to use sustainable alternatives on Palm Sunday. They engaged local communities, turning former poachers into paid guardians of the forest. They protected the remaining palms and even provided artificial nest boxes.
The results have been miraculous.
From just 81 individuals, the yellow-eared parrot has rebounded significantly, with recent estimates suggesting a population now in the thousands.
But for every success, a species like Australia's orange-bellied parrot is still teetering on the precipice.
It's one of a very small number of migratory parrot species on the planet, undertaking a perilous journey each year.
It breeds only in a remote corner of Tasmania, and then flies across the treacherous Bass Strait to winter in coastal salt marshes.
Around 2017, the wild population crashed to just 17 individuals, including only 3 females.
The species was staring into the abyss. An emergency intervention was launched, centered on a captive breeding program. Each year, captive-bred birds are released to bolster the wild flock. In recent years, these efforts have yielded fragile but positive results.
The team celebrated 92 parrots returning for the 2024 breeding season and 86 for the 2025 season.
These stories show us the full spectrum of the challenge.
They reveal that while extinction is terrifyingly easy, recovery is monumentally hard, requiring decades of... While the crisis is daunting, the fight for the future of the world's parrots is a vibrant and growing movement, full of dedicated people and innovative strategies. This isn't a story of inevitable doom, but one of active, hopeful resistance. The solutions are as diverse as the parrots themselves, tackling the crisis from the forest floor to the halls of government. The most fundamental, long-term solution is protecting and restoring habitat. Across the globe, conservation organizations are working to create protected areas, national parks, nature reserves.
But just protecting land isn't always enough. Where forests have been degraded, restoration is key. This means large-scale reforestation, often focused on planting the specific native trees parrots need for food and nests.
For the Lear's macaw in Brazil, for example, conservation has centered on protecting and planting the licuri palms that are its primary food source.
Crucially, the most successful projects are those that deeply involve local communities.
For too long, conservation was something imposed on local people.
The modern approach recognizes that the people who live alongside these birds are their most essential guardians. Programs that offer sustainable livelihoods, like training former poachers to be ecotourism guides or employing locals as park rangers, are transforming the game. The incredible recovery of the yellow-eared parrot in Colombia is a perfect example. By creating economic and cultural incentives for when a species is on the immediate brink, captive breeding and reintroduction programs are a critical emergency room. As we saw with the Spix's macaw and orange-bellied parrot, these programs are incredibly complex and expensive. But while reintroduction is the ultimate goal, it's a delicate process that requires years of careful planning, habitat restoration, and monitoring.
Tackling the illegal trade requires a two-pronged attack, strengthening laws and reducing demand.
International agreements like CITES provide the framework for regulating and, for the most endangered species like the African grey, banning commercial trade.
But these laws are only as good as their enforcement on the ground.
This means funding and empowering wildlife authorities to patrol protected areas and prosecute criminals. Mexico's 2008 ban on parrot trade proves that strong national laws, when backed by enforcement and public awareness, can slash poaching rates.
Ultimately, though, the trade is fueled by demand.
This is where everyone can play a role. Public awareness campaigns are vital for teaching potential buyers about the brutal reality of the wild-caught bird trade. They push a simple, powerful message. A parrot taken from the wild can never be an ethical pet. Intervals. By promoting responsible pet ownership, only acquiring birds from reputable, captive breeders, and understanding the immense...
The fight for parrots is also a fight for the health of our planet. We're increasingly understanding the profound ecological roles these birds play.
As the gardeners of the forest, their seed dispersal is essential for the resilience of tropical ecosystems. When we lose a parrot species, we don't just lose a bird, we lose a key engineer of its environment. We break a link in a chain forged over millions of years, with consequences that ripple through the entire ecosystem.
Saving parrots is, in a very real sense, an act of saving the forests themselves.
We started this journey in a world painted with the vibrant colors of 400 parrot species.
We've soared with majestic macaws, walked with the flightless kakapo, and witnessed the staggering diversity that makes these birds so extraordinary. But we've also walked through the silent clearings of deforestation and peered into the darkness of the illegal trade. The stories of the Spix's macaw, the yellow-eared parrot, and the orange-bellied parrot aren't just tales about birds.
They're mirrors, reflecting the best and worst of humanity.
They show our capacity for destruction, but also our incredible capacity for compassion, ingenuity, and redemption.
The vanishing of wild parrots is a tragedy, but it's not an inevitability.
The fight to keep their colors in our world is underway, and it's a fight that can be won. The silence in the canopies is a choice, not a destiny.
So what can you do? First, become a conscious consumer. Your choices matter.
Investigate the products you buy and support companies committed to deforestation-free supply chains. Refuse to fuel the demand that destroys habitats. Second, be a responsible animal lover. Never, ever buy a wild-caught bird.
If you're thinking about bringing a parrot into your life, understand the immense, lifelong commitment they require. Support only reputable, legitimate breeders, or think about adopting one of the many parrots in rescues that need a home.
Third, use your voice.
Spread awareness. Share this video. Talk about the threats facing parrots.
The more people who understand the crisis, the greater the pressure on governments and corporations to act.
Finally, support the helpers on the horizon.
There are incredible organizations on the front lines of this fight, working on the ground to protect habitats, combat poaching, and partner with communities. Consider donating to or volunteering with respected groups like the World Parrot Trust, BirdLife International, or local projects dedicated to saving their native parrots.
The fate of these extraordinary birds is in our hands. Their vibrant future, or their silent disappearance, will be our legacy. Let's choose to be the generation that kept the rainbow alive.